Welcome back to my kitchen. I have this beautiful quarter bushel of Romanello tomatoes. They are shorter and kind of like a squished looking version of a San Marzano tomato. It's a different variety and it's going to give us a slightly different sauce. And I'm going to show you how I make them into sauce in my condo without any of the traditional sauce making equipment here. This is going to be a variation of a roasted sauce like the one that I did last year, but this one is going to be a little bit different. First things first, going to preheat the oven to 375 degrees. Then I'm going to wash all of these tomatoes and I'm going to line a baking sheet. Well, I've already done it. I've lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. I'm going to remove the little stem piece from each of the tomatoes. Now I'm just drizzling it with a little bit of olive oil. You don't need a ton. And then I'm just going to use my hands to make sure everything is nicely coated. Now it goes into the oven. Then we're also going to throw in this beautiful big farm fresh onion. We're going to roast this as well and it's going to become so juicy and delicious. We've got it in some foil. Add a little bit of olive oil and then we'll package it up and throw it in the oven with our tomatoes. The tomatoes are nice and soft, but you can see that they don't have a ton of browning on them. They're just cooked through, practically melted, so that looks beautiful. All right, now the tomatoes are cooked. I've let them cool, I've let them come down to room temperature, and we're going to blend it all up with the onion. I actually did 2 trays like this to do my full quarter bushel, and now I'm going to blend them up with the onion and some other beautiful ingredients. If you've been to my channel before, then you know my blender because apparently it's in all my videos. So here we go. In the bottom of the tray, there's a lot of like residual water. We're gonna leave that. We're not gonna scoop that into the food processor. We just want the pulpy, rich tomatoes themselves. Blender and most blenders in the world actually are not large enough to hold an entire quarter bushel of tomatoes and all the other things we're gonna put into it. So I have this nice big bowl and I'm going to put things into this in batches as we move through all of the tomatoes. So first things first, I'm going to blend up my first batch of tomatoes. This is probably an 1/8 of a batch. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, very roughly, just look at it with your eyes. I'm gonna season with sea salt. I've also chopped up several garlic cloves. These are gonna go into the blender as well, and we're keeping this garlic fresh. It's gonna give it a nice zesty, I don't know. You guys know what garlic is. I don't need to explain garlic to you. And then finally we have about a handful, roughly. All of my measurements are so precise on this channel. We're gonna add roughly a handful of fresh basil to the blender as well. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go blend this up. Ta-da! The first part is done. Oh my god, it smells so good. Okay, the next batch I put my onion in and I just cut it in half. Maybe hard to see, but I cut it in half just so it's easier for the blender to buzz up. And now we'll add more tomatoes and continue working my way through. It's just like how when you're doing tomatoes in the garage, you do things in batches. I mean, you don't process a whole bunch of bushels all at one time. Same thing when you're doing something small like a quarter bushel in your kitchen. Give yourself time to work through it. This is something that you chip away at with process and intention. It is not something that you can expect to just, you know, get done in one blend. Let's add this into the bowl. Now we'll just give this full batch a nice stir up. Make sure that the garlic and the onion and everything comes together evenly throughout the sauce. Be sure to season to taste with sea salt. My tomato loving friends, this big bowl of sauce is ready and it's kind of burning my hand. So you can see that this sauce is a little bit lighter in color than some of the other sauces that I have shown you on this channel. And it has some beautiful little flecks from the cooked onion, raw garlic, and fresh basil. This is such a lovely sauce. I can't wait for you to try it. Toss it with your favorite pasta, put it on a pizza. I think this would go really well with seafood. Personally, that's the flavor it's giving me. And I'm gonna throw some of the sauce into jars and let it come to room temperature. That's gonna be the sauce that I'll use this week that I can just keep in the fridge. And then the rest of it I'm going to freeze, and then I have beautiful Romanello tomato sauce on demand. Doing tomatoes in your apartment or your condo is totally doable. You can achieve it. It's just a little bit different than the process that you might do in your garage. So anyways, happy tomato eating, and I hope you enjoy this sauce. Bye.